Good afternoon to you. Today we will take up economy. In economy, we will examine monetary policy. As you know, there are two important policies which govern our economy. One is fiscal policy, which is the responsibility of the government, and another is the responsibility of Reserve Bank of India, what is called monetary policy. Fiscal policy deals with quantity and quality of public finance. Not only of how much money is earned by the government, but also what is the manner in which the money has been earned. It reflects the policy of the government in taxation and control over expenditure. The efforts of the government, as you know, are reflected in the budget, which is technically called annual financial statement, which is presented to Parliament under Article 112 of the Constitution. The other policy, as I told you, is the monetary policy, which regulates the money supply and ensures credit control. Money supply and credit control responsibility to the monetary policy, which is done by the RBI, and relating to revenue and expenditure is the responsibility of the government through fiscal policy. These are all the two distinguishing factors of economy. Monetary policy is the responsibility of RBI and its monetary policy committee. What is the composition of monetary policy committee? We will see later. The main functions of RBI is the price stability, economic growth with development and inflation targeting. This is in addition to the traditional functions of issue of money, management of stock of money, banker to the government, banker to the banks, financial institutions control, regulation of money market, management of foreign exchange market, and other developmental functions including modernization, diversification, and financial inclusion. These are all the functions of RBI. Again, we will deal with the functions of RBI in detail in a separate episode. There are two instruments through which the monetary policy is implemented by RBI. One is direct instrument and the other is indirect instrument. Direct instrument includes three factors: cash reserve ratio, statutory liquidity ratio, and refinance facility. These three, CRR, SLR, refinance, these three relate to direct instrument which regulates the money supply. The indirect instruments include repo rate, bank rate, marginal standing facility, reverse repo rate, liquidity adjustment ratio. Of course, these repo rate and reverse repo rate is included in the marginal adjustment facility, open market operation, market stabilization scheme. These are all indirect instruments. These indirect instruments regulate the credit, whereas the direct instruments regulate the money supply. These are all the two differences. the direct instruments as you call, because it controls the money supply, that is loanable funds directly. Now, first we will see cash reserve ratio. It is a monetary tool to regulate the money supply. Very simple. It is a portion of net demand and time liability which the banks should keep with RBI in the form of cash. So the crux is, it is kept with RBI in the form of cash, a portion of net demand and time liability. Remember, these three factors you should remember. RBI does not give any interest for CRR. During inflation, the CRR will increase to absorb the availability of money. And during slowdown, it will be decreased so that the money is pumped. So it is inversely proportional. It is calculated on the basis of net demand and time liability at the evening of every working day. For example, let us say State Bank of India has 33,000 branches. What is the total balance in all current account, saving account, fixed deposit, recurring deposit at 3 p.m. daily? This is the NDTL. Certain portion of this amount is to be deposited in cash with the RBI. How it is deposited? In the current account of the bank with the RBI. The current rate of CRR is 3%. It may vary depending upon the situation. Who decides? Monetary Policy Committee. It is decided by the Monetary Policy Committee. If CRR is increased, it is called dear money policy or contraction policy. If CRR is reduced, it is called cheap money policy or expansionary policy. Remember, there is no minimum limit nor maximum limit for CRR. As you know, during demonetization, the CRR was raised to 100% because there was lot of flow of money to the banks. So RBI said, you put all money with us. So they increased the CRR, asked the banks to deposit all the money which have been deposited by the during the time of demonetization in the RBI. You may also recall, in 1991, the CRR was 14.5% and SLR was 38.05%. Now it is interesting if you know that in USA there is very little, there is no CRR. And CRR and statute is a statutory requirement, remember. It is statutory requirement which is prescribed under RBI Act 1934. Remember, very important, under RBI Act 1934, it's the statutory requirement. In the last civil service exam, the question came. Under RBI Act 1934. The bank, if they fail to keep the CRR to the required limit, then they will be fined. Bank rate they will be levied bank rate penalty. So naturally, the banks will approach other banks who have got excess money and loan the money through call money. What is call money, notice money, term money, cash management bill, treasury bill, that we will see separately. Today we will confine ourselves with only these instruments. So the call money is also helping the banks for short term to adjust the liquidity, they will borrow money from the neighboring banks and deposit the money with the RBI, because shortage of in what is called CRR will invite penalty. So to escape from this, they will do it. Second is what is known as statutory liquidity ratio. Again, the moment if you say statutory liquidity ratio, it is a statutory obligation, but not RBI Act 1934, but Bank Regulation Act 1949. See, both are different. One is RBI Act 1934, that is CRR, and that is Banking Regulation Act 1949, that is SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio. This is the share of NDTL which the bank should keep with themselves daily in the form of cash, gold, foreign exchange, government security and other approved securities, and the cash balance with other banks. Each bank may be having a cash balance with other banks, that also should be included. If you know the purpose of SLR, it is very interesting. The purpose of SLR is channelize the deposit in the banking industry for the use of the government. The banks have to keep the share of NDTL mostly in the form of government securities. So obviously, the banks have to purchase government security, otherwise called gilt-edged security, from the government. And the government will get more funds for developmental activities. So, higher the SLR, higher the resources of government. As economy grows, the SLR will come down. In developed countries, CRR is very less and the SLR also very rare. As I told you, SLR is a statutory requirement. Remember, very important point. The banks, unlike CRR, the banks earn interest from securities purchased from the government. So also there is a foreign currencies, gold, through which they get the appreciation in value. At present, the SLR is 18.50. This is as per the 22nd May 2020 Monetary Policy Committee recommendation. So, 18.5. Remember, there is no minimum of SLR. Previously, it was there 6%. Now, there is no minimum. Maximum is 40%. Maximum is 40%. Now, let us say CRR is 4%. Example. And the SLR is 18%. So, total 22%. This 22% should be set apart by each bank for the deposits they have received. If 100 rupees is the NDTL, remember CRR and SLR together, if you deduct 22 rupees, the balance is only 78 rupees. This 78 rupees is called loanable fund. That is the amount which can be given as loan to the clients. So remember, higher the CRR and higher the SLR, lower the loanable fund. Similarly, lower the CRR and lower the SLR, higher the loanable fund. So loanable fund, if it is less, then naturally the banks will not be lend more and their profit will be affected. If the loanable fund is more, the banks have the liberty to give more loans to the people. So their profit will be more. Their liquidity will be more. And what is refinancing facility? I told you three composite. One is CRR and another is SLR and third is refinance facility under direct instrument. What do you mean by refinance facility? When the banks have inadequate money supply, the banks are financed by RBI. So that the banks provide finance facility to corporations, corporates, industries, agriculturists, for housing, for students and other stakeholders. So, RBI finance the banks and banks in turn refinance the customers. So, this facility is called refinance facility. Remember, the people are not getting money directly from RBI. RBI gives the money to the banks and banks in turn give the money to the customers. That is why this is called refinance facility. This is for the purpose of developmental growth and price stability. With this, we will end the class now, and next we will see what are the other indirect instruments called repo rate, reverse repo rate, marginal standing facility, and liquidity adjustment facility, and market stabilization scheme. All these things we will see in the next class. Thank you very much.